Coming off a convincing home win at Rupp over the number one team in the country, down two starters in Jalen Lowe and Jaden Quainance. Kentucky returns for another exhibition game, taking on Georgetown in this one. Look, it's been a week of, I think, nothing but positivity from Kentucky basketball, and for good reason too, by the way. That win in an exhibition game over Purdue is something that they should be extremely proud of, just given
Hmm.
that they were able to have a good showing against an opponent that's not themselves, down two starters. I think anytime you're able to compete and you're able to come on top against another team and a top team like Purdue, who I think has Final Four aspirations and things like that, you feel very good about yourself. Jasper Johnson got 15 points in that game. They got contributions from Trent Noah. Otega Owe had 10 points in that game. And Riley, I know you're very much online, just as much as I am. I mean, you've been seeing all the Kentucky chatter this past week, have you not?
I have, yes. I'm buying in. I'm
I-
buying in.
I'm buying in as well. But now that's kind of where I'm leading to with this game. Now we are going to talk a little bit more about Georgetown, which is a team out of the Big East who, I have talked about how I don't want to say like excited, but I'm just intrigued by Georgetown this year, given some of the pieces that they have in a Big East that I think is going to be a little bit weaker. Now, obviously, this is an exhibition game. It doesn't really go towards that or anything that regards to that. But I'm just saying they have a year two transfer point guard in Malik Mack, who I'm very, very high on. They have KJ Lewis, who's a very good defender in his own right, transfer from Arizona, my apologies. Deshaun Harris Smith, who has some really good Global Jam games, but we know how Global Jam can trick folks, so we'll see what happens with that. They got your boy Juice on the squad as well.
Big
So
juice.
there are some pieces on this team. Ed Cooley is a good coach. And I'll say this. First things first, when you're playing this type of game, we were able to see what Kentucky was about in that first game, right? They sent a message, they won at home against Rupp. Now it's like, okay, you're facing a lesser opponent, still a worthy, good opponent though in Georgetown. How do you respond to that? Is your team what my coaches say? Are they fat and sassy about their win, feeling good, looking at all the headlines? People talking about this should be the number one team, the deepest team, all that, this, that, and the third. Like people like us saying it, or is this team still focused on what they have to do in an exhibition setting? So, Riley, I'll throw it to you for some Kentucky thoughts, and then maybe dive into this matchup with Georgetown a little bit.
Here's a spin zone, Carter. If I'm a Kentucky fan, I want my team acting like they're fat and sassy right now.
So you're endorsing Fat and Sassy.
I'm endorsing fat and sassy in October. I'm endorsing fat and sassy in early November. Get humbled a little bit and get humbled against a team you're better than, preferably like in the first half. Come out sluggish when you're fat and sassy, and then flip a gear in the second half. Like that to me is sort of how I can see this unfolding. Like Georgetown has enough talent to hang for a half. Maybe Kentucky comes out sluggish. Maybe they're feeling themselves a little bit. But I would even say like this Kentucky team against Purdue, I had this realization that they might be among the best rebounding teams in the country, particularly on the defensive end. Like Purdue just, I mean, anecdotally speaking, I don't even want to look at the stats to back this up. I would bet Purdue had fewer than 8 offensive rebounds in that game. It seemed like Kentucky limited them to one shot every possession. Got it off the glass, pushed the tempo, got a bunch of transition threes and easy buckets on the break. So that I think is always going to translate. It's always going to catch up. And they're playing a Georgetown team that just, I believe, like only won the rebounding battle against George Washington by 5. They allowed George Washington to score more points in the paint against them. And their first exhibition in the game they won is close. Let me look real quick.
It was 73-64.
Thank you. 9 point win over George Washington. But yeah, I did not leave that game thinking like, oh, Georgetown thoroughly outplayed them. It looked about like a 9 point win. I think Kentucky's size, their physicality defensively, like even if they're not elite defensively, they have enough playmakers. They can bother you with positional size. And they're just really, really good at ending defensive possessions and pushing the tempo and turning it into easy offense to where that is how I envision unfolding, where it probably gets out of hand in the second half.
Yeah, I think so too. And look, you want to be able to continue and build off a dominant performance. And I think the good thing for Kentucky is that let's say they do come out sluggish, like you stated, Riley. Mark Pope can look down the bench and say, "Well, I got the deepest team in the country." So if and this is just completely just picking a player here. Oh, Trent Noah thinks it's good this game. Oh, Jasper's feeling great about his first game. He thinks like it's sweet. Go get him. Go get him and let him know that's unacceptable. And the next guy can kind of pick him up. It's one of the benefits of having such a deep team. And as I'm looking at this Georgetown team, I think you can look at the George Washington game, and even me being the Georgetown guy, I'm like, that's not what I wanted to see over an
Mhm.
opponent like George Washington. But they do have some good pieces on this team. Caleb Wilson was a top 150 kid out of high school. He's a sophomore, 6'7", 227, very, very strong. I think he had 20 and
Yep.
what do you had 20 and 6 in the last game, 4
I'm
or
pretty
7
sure he
from
was.
3.
Yeah, he was their leading rebounder, if I'm not mistaken. He was the only
Yep.
guy. Yeah, 6 rebounds. Isaiah Abraham also had six, but like, we'll just give the nod to Caleb Williams as the leading
Yeah.
rebounder.
Malik
Yeah.
Mack had 16 points in that game. KJ Lewis really struggled from the field and shooting, but he had 6 steals and a block. That makes 7 stocks for those keeping track at home. I'm a stocks guy this year. So look, there's some pieces on this team that got talent. It's one that, if Kentucky shows up, they do what they're supposed to do, they win this game quite handily. I guess I'll ask you this, Riley. You get to pick as a Kentucky fan. Actually, maybe it's Mark Pope. You get to pick one thing you can for sure make happen in this game. What do you want to see?
Ooh, great question. I want to see a better shooting night from Denzel Aberdeen.
Mm,
I want to see Denzel, especially because you don't know how long Lowe is going to be out for. If that's the guy who you're leaning on to run point, I would like to see maybe like a mess around, get a little 14 point, maybe 5 assist type of night. That
I
would be
like
my
that.
choice. I
I like
thought Aberdeen looks. This is part of why I'm so in on this Kentucky team. They're big across the board. Aberdeen like looks not just like he's 6'5", but like he's bulked up a little bit. I think Trent Noah looks like he's put on muscle. Like all having all that plus Owe, who's built like a strong safety, and like that's kind of been his calling card throughout his career. Having that in your backcourt, I mean, they got some dudes, man, and I feel kind of dumb for being a skeptic for most of the offseason, but skeptical like what's the word I'm looking for? Relatively speaking, I still view them as like a top 10, top 12 team, but yeah, that Purdue exhibition showed me some things.
Yeah, 100%. I'm very impressed with this Kentucky team. I'm interested to see how they build off it. I'm not sure what the status is going to be of Jalen Lowe. I know JQ is probably not going to play. I'm assuming Jalen Lowe is not going to play as well. I guess we will see what happens with that. It would be nice to see him get into the fold just to see what this team looks like with him in the
Yeah.
fold, right? I mean, they look so impressive without him and JQ. I just want to see kind of what it would look like with those guys, seeing that Jalen Lowe is going to be the point guard of this team moving forward for Mark Pope. So, we got to see what happens with that. I like the Denzel Aberdeen shout. That's where I would go with this too. I would love to see a good game from him. Um, Fun fact here as we end this. Shout out to Kentucky men's basketball website who gave me this one, ukathletics.com. Kentucky is 3-0 in exhibition games under Mark Pope. They are currently on a 34-game winning streak in exhibition games. Now I
That's
think a
actually
lot of now I
that's
don't know.
crazy.
I'm not sure how many of those were against for sure D1 opponents, but I'm not really sure. But they are 155 and 12 all time in tune-up games, 34-game win streak. But Riley, this is what matters about this game the most. We got to get our get back for the 1983 Cats and the 1921 Cats. Georgetown is on a 2-game win streak against our Cats. So we got to avenge the 1921 team and the 1983 team. They can't do us like that. And just so you know, in 1921, Georgetown won 28-23.
Then what did they do afterwards? Like go find a bootlegger in Kentucky to get some bourbon from, or what?
Crazy that that's even a thing, though. They also won 53-40 in the NCAA tournament in 83. Listen, and people wonder why I disrespect hoops from back then. Crazy score. Just saying. Those guys don't want to see Otego away. Can I get a score prediction out of you for this game?
Yeah, I'm gonna say Kentucky hits 80. I think they win 85-70.
That feels fair. I'll go. Uh, Give me 83-64. Little slight 19 point victory. But we will have the recap of the last exhibition game before it matters for real for Kentucky. We'll have all Kentucky stuff on the channel here. Be sure to tap in.